Hey everybody, sorry I couldn't be here. Things are just crazy right now, so thanks for being good to your guest teacher. I really appreciate it. I know you guys are going to have an awesome day. Today we're going to be doing this really cool radial symmetry painting, making bugs and using Q-tips to paint it in. So let's get started. I did want to show you this other one really quickly so you can kind of see that you can actually do 2 colors in each section if you want, as long as they stay the same. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, here's this awesome project that we're gonna do. These are called radial insects. So these are symmetrical, and they're symmetrical around a center point. So if this is my point, everything's gonna be the same kind of around this center point. So it's called radial symmetry, okay? And we talked about this earlier this year when we did the Alma Thomas paintings. So the first thing you're going to do is everyone's going to get a 12 by 12 piece of paper, okay? Let's go ahead and we're going to fold it into 4. So what I want you to do is we're going to fold it in half, and it doesn't matter if it's hamburger or hot dog because this is a square, so it's going to be the same. So fold it in half one time. Make sure you get a really nice fold, okay? So you want to find your corners, match them up, and then give a nice crease. And then let's fold it in half. Hamburger this time. Find your corners again, give it a nice crease. Okay, so we have like a small square. Okay, once everybody has that, you're going to want to just go grab a black crayon. Okay, everyone's gonna need a black crayon, so pause this until everyone gets their black crayon. All right, guys, once you have your black crayon, we're gonna draw a nice big insect right here. Now, we want it to be pointing into the center of our paper. So if we look at our paper, where all of my folds are here, the center is this corner right here in the middle, okay? So if I opened it up, here's the middle. So this is the corner I want to make sure I start drawing it on. I want everything to be pointing over here. So you could even just draw a little dot right there in the corner so you know exactly where you want it to be. Actually, let's do this. Let's open up our paper. Let's draw a nice circle right in the center of our paper so we know exactly where the center is. Make sure it's big enough that it kind of goes into all 4 of these little squares. And then let's fold our paper back up. Thanks for being flexible. Okay, so this little black dot tells us that's where my head of my insect is going to be pointing. All right, so an insect has 3 body parts. It has a head, it has an abdomen, and it has a thorax. So we need to have 3 separate shapes. So I'm just going to draw a nice big circle for my head. And I'm gonna kind of push hard with my crayon because I wanna make sure I get a lot of wax on there. And then I think I'll do kind of a wider shape for my body here. Oops. I don't want to fill it in because we are going to be painting this inside. And then I'm going to do my last shape. And I think I'll kind of give it like a point on the end. It doesn't have to be a real bug. It can just be one that you're kind of making up. I'm going to add some little antenna. And I'm going to add 6 legs because insects have 6 legs. Usually they have 2 coming out of this body part and 1 coming out here. So I'm going to kind of add 1, 2, 3. 1. I'm going to try to make them about the same. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Once we have this, here's the cool art magic part. I'm going to open my paper up just one time. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this paper on top of this paper. Okay, so I'm going to fold it over. Watch again. I'm going to fold this over. Using the handle of my scissors, I'm going to take it and I'm going to rub. And I'm going to push pretty hard all over my paper where I drew. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to transfer my bug onto that next piece of paper. So you kind of have to rub hard, kind of just rubbing all over where you think your insect is drawn. If you want to kind of test it, open it up, Ooh, so I can kind of see that little pattern. If you can't see it very well, close it back up, rub a little bit more. So go ahead and do this. If you need to pause it before I move on, go ahead and pause it. Okay, once you've done that, you should be able to see an exact pattern, and you're going to carefully trace it, okay? Now listen, you have to really be careful when you're tracing it so that it's exactly the same. If it's not the same, it's going to kind of lose that cool symmetrical look, okay? Go ahead and add a nice thick black line of black crayon again to your shape of your insect. I'm going to go over it like twice just to make sure I have a lot of wax on there, because we're going to transfer it again. We have 4 squares on our paper, so we're going to have to end up transferring it 4 times. We already have 1. We've transferred it, or we have 1, 2, and then we need to do it 2 more times. Oops, I broke my crayon. Okay, now what we're going to do is let's open our paper so we can see all 4 squares. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to fold our paper over this way, making sure our corners match. So let me show you again. We had it like this. We traced again our black crayons on our insect. Open it up so you can see both of your insects. Take this blank part and fold it straight over. Now you're going to hold it with one hand, and with the other hand, you're going to scrape your scissors again. Now listen, you have to make sure you're kind of holding it with one hand and scraping with the other, because if you just start doing this, it might kind of mess up your paper and it'll mess up where your insect is. So make sure you're holding it with one hand and just do a little bit at a time. I'm going to come down here, start doing it on this side too. Holding it with my other hand, making sure that it's kind of pushing hard on there. I really want to transfer it. I can check it if I need to. Starting to really work. I can't see it very well over here, so I'm going to work on this side a little bit more. If yours is not transferring, you may need to open it up and go over it with your crayon again and add more of that black wax, okay? All right, so go ahead and pause this while everyone's doing the scraping. Once everybody gets it transferred over, then once again, carefully with your black crayon, you're going to go one insect at a time and trace it, okay? Now friends, like I said before, please be careful. You want these to be as identical as possible. So if you're going super fast, it might mess you up, okay? You might have to go back and scrape again. Go ahead and find your black crayon and trace over all of these. Trying to make these look symmetrical, which means the same. You guys just pause it whenever you need to. Almost there. You guys almost done? Okay, feeling pretty good about it. All right, go ahead and get this finished and then we'll move on. All right, you guys, we have all 4 of our bugs, our insects transferred. They all look the same. It looks symmetrical. It is all radiating from this center point. It kind of goes around. And what I'm going to give you guys now is you're going to get your paint trays, okay? Don't put the lids underneath because there's paint on them and it'll get on the bottom of our tray. So just set it to the side. And I'm going to give you, I don't know, everybody probably needs about 5 Q-tips, okay? If I give you 5, then that really means you have 10 because each one has 2 sides. Okay, so now you have to make some decisions. Every bug needs to be the same. so that it continues with our symmetrical look. Okay, so just work on one bug at a time. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing pointillism. Now, pointillism is just making a shape with dots. So we're just going to fill these in with dots. That means we're not painting them in, we're actually dotting them in. So look at this example that should be on the board. You can see each separate dot, okay? And each bug needs to be the same. So pick one bug that you want to start with. I'm going to pick this guy here and start using your Q-tip to fill in each of the sections. And you can do whatever colors you want, okay? I like to leave a little space in between my dots so that you can actually see that they are dots, okay? I want to see the dots. I don't want to see you filling them in with your Q-tip, like painting with the Q-tip, okay? You want to continue with dots. Now, make sure you fill it in really well. Don't leave too much white. Then you're going to move on and do a different color for the body. Maybe I'll do orange here. Just kind of go in a nice organized fashion. Maybe I like to kind of start going by going around the perimeter or the outside of each of my shapes. Trying to get those dots pretty close together. It's okay if they touch. And then just fill it in. All the way. Okay, so I have my head, my abdomen, and my thorax filled. I think I'm going to put some little dots on the end of my antenna. And if you want to go over your legs, you can go over your legs too. Like, this is totally up to you. It might be, it might be kind of fun to go over your legs. Get some red, go over my legs. So just remember, whatever you do with one bug, you have to do with the next bug. So no changing colors, no changing patterns. You've got to do the same thing so that it remains symmetrical, which means the same. All right, I've done with one bug. I'm going to move on to my next bug. If you want to do like all your heads at one time so that you're using the same color Q-tip and then to go onto your abdomens and then go onto your thorax, you can do that too. You're going to fill up all 4 of your insects. Now listen, I don't expect you to get done with this today. It's a lot of dotting. So if you don't get finished, don't worry, we'll finish next week. Just put it on the drying rack when class is over and we will finish next time.